Welcome to PubTalk. Yes, I am Shannon Kelly. I am thrilled to be here with you for the first PubTalk of 2025. My God, you've never been this quiet. Okay, the clapping worked. Nice suggestion. I'm here tonight with you thanks to our MC sponsor, OSU Cascades. Oregon State University Cascades is proud to introduce Eric Zeiss. A business leader with more than 25 years of experience, Eric is the inaugural executive director of the Central Oregon Innovation Hub, a collaboration based at OSU Cascades and supported by more than 20 local partner organizations. The Central Oregon Innovation Hub is one of 9 regional collaborations around the state. They are funded by Business Oregon and the Oregon Innovation Council to support regional economies and entrepreneurs, help advance innovation-based economic development, and encourage participation among populations currently underserved in the innovation economy. The Central Oregon Innovation Hub is also funded by Economic Development of Central Oregon, thank you, EDCO, the Ford Family Foundation, and OSU Cascades. As executive director, Eric will work with a steering committee of diverse regional, economic, and entrepreneurial stakeholders to develop and provide services that help innovation-based companies in Central Oregon grow, attract investment capital, and create jobs. Eric comes to OSU Cascades from Nebraska, where he led the commercialization of technology developed at University of Nebraska, Northwestern University, and Tufts University, and was also a leader at state economic development efforts. Eric is here at PubTalk this evening. Are you in the room with us, Eric? Hey, Eric. He looks forward to working with you and learning about Central Oregon's dynamic economic development community. We're so lucky to have him here with us. So how about a round of applause for Eric? And of course, thank you to Worthy Brewing for hosting us once again this month, and Hand in Hand Productions for the multi-room stream. We're so fancy. We are so fancy. So also thank you to our PubTalk title sponsors for making PubTalk a reality every month, and we'd like to welcome them up on stage one at a time. First up, welcome Emma Janes from Roselle Wealth Management.
Thank you. Hello, hello. I think it's on. I get to go first. How exciting. My name is Emma James. I'm a financial advisor and now partner at Roselle Wealth Management. Thank you. We are, the Roselle team, we are super passionate about helping our business owners successfully transition out of their businesses so that they can live the retirement lifestyle of their dreams. Now, a lot of folks don't know how to do that successfully, which is why we are hosting some events in the coming months about it. So I'm gonna point over here. There's a lovely QR code on the screen, and I invite you, if you are a business owner or a professional who supports business owners, and you wanna know a little bit more about how to capture the opportunities that are available to you when you're preparing to sell your business, come hang out with us. 1 hour, we'll feed you lunch, and we're a really charming team, so I promise you'll have a really good time. Now, while I'm giving you some time to scan this QR code and register, I do have a few giveaways. I'm taking one out of Kurt's book tonight. For the first 3 people who can answer my question with different answers, I have a lovely local artist poster to give away. There's mountains. So my question for you is, as a business owner preparing to sell your business, what are the key things you should have in mind to help you maximize the sale? Just shout it out if you have something. Structure? Yes, well, I'll take that one, right? Making sure you're set up successfully. There you go. Anybody else?
Profit and loss sheet.
What about that? Tell me more. I love it. Thank you. That's for you. One more. What about the big one that's on everybody's mind? How much do you need to live the life you want to? I love it. There you go. Thank you. All right. If you want to learn more about the 6 opportunities, scan the QR code, come hang out with us, and we'll see you in February, hopefully.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Emma. I love it when people bring art, and I can confirm you do have a very charming team, so everybody register for the event. I love free lunch. I think the odds of me selling a business called Shannon Kelly to another Shannon Kelly are slim to none, but hey, there's a chance. All right, next up is Jordan Smith from Belock Systems. Jordan, how you doing, my friend?
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Jordan Smith. I'm with Belock Systems. We do cybersecurity consulting and IT services for businesses here in Central Oregon. And we are, I believe, on the sponsor sheet, we're the oldest logo on the PubTalk sponsor sheet. We're not the oldest sponsors, but we are the oldest logo, which is exciting. Anyway, a couple things. So, Emma's event, there's one in February and one in April, and they're serving you lunch, which is awesome. Go. Right smack dab in the middle, we have one in March 11th. This will be a cybersecurity workshop, understanding the threats of the human element. So we're going to talk about social engineering, how people can come into your building or your office and kind of work their way into the right spots or get the right information to unravel your credentials and passwords and all of that. And so it really is kind of the sobering moment where we all learn that we are the problem as the person at the computer, typically, most commonly. So it'll be a fun workshop. We'll get to see kind of how those things work out. If you've ever seen movie, one of the movies of Mission Impossible, it's probably kind of like that. You sneak into the building. And we're going to see that live in a simulation. So we did one last fall, super fun, doing some tabletop exercises and things like that. So scan that QR code and join us March 11th for the workshop. That's at 10 Barrel, and we are doing beer in the afternoon. So come for the beer. There will also be snacks, and we'll see you guys then. So thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. It is remarkable when that phishing text come in and you know it's phishing and you just really want to push it. It's scary. Okay, next up, Julianne Horner from Providence Health Plan. Julian, how you doing?
Well, hello. I am Julianne from Providence Health Plan, and I just want to say Happy New Year. You probably have heard that all month long. That'll be the last time I say it, being late in the month. But I want to point out that we usually talk about New Year's resolutions right now. We talk about all the ways we're going to improve our health and what we're going to do. I hear a lot about 75 hard, 75 soft, all those great things. And can I tell you, the research says most people do not keep their resolutions or keep with those diet plans. But the research does say if you do something every day, small, that you say, today I'm going to drink my water, and tomorrow I'm going to walk the dog, and the next day I'm going to do 5 push-ups, and you just move your feet every single day for the entire year, your health outcomes become about 80% more than the 2% if you set the New Year's resolutions. So this is what I'm going to put out to the EDCO population. Keep moving your feet. Keep moving forward in whatever health goal makes you happy, because it will make you healthy. And that's what we're about. Providence Health Plan is here to help you continue your health journey. And we are proud to be sponsors of EDCO. We look forward to another great year ahead of us, and cheers to 25.
Thanks, Julianne. I always appreciate what you share because it's so practical and it's so true. You should do what you love. If I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. Right? You either. Can see. Okay, next up, Kurt Barker, Best and Krieger. Kurt, where you at, my friend? Here comes Kurt.
BBK sends greetings. We're here for all your business legal needs. I, though, have had an interesting week. I'm an employment attorney, as many of you know, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and do this with a smile. Mike, we're going to keep this positive. I feel compelled, given what I do, to do a little myth busting, hopefully enlist you in the war against misinformation about executive orders. So, trigger warning, plug your ears. We will do a giveaway, though. Oh my gosh, Emmett, your giveaway was great. I'll do an email giveaway of $100 at the end, so cue that up if you know the routine. The first one that said the federal government shall only recognize male and female genders. Legal fact. Executive orders can't overrule Oregon anti-discrimination law, or Title VII for that matter. Your workplace, they are still protected. Transgender status, gender identity, you name it. please join me in busting some myths, because whoever started that, I love you. I thought I was going to just suck all the life out of the room when I said executive orders tonight. Second one that just came down saying DEI is illegal. That's how some are interpreting it. I'm not so sure. I don't think DEI is dead. He does call for federal agencies to join the fight against DEI programs, but it specifically says illegal DEI. When it specifically cites examples of giving race or sex preference in hiring, yeah, that's illegal. That's the Title VII violation, right? So I don't think DEI is dead. I think it's a great time. Get some advice on your program. Watch out for little traps like that, and forget this lawyer nonsense for now. Thank you so much. Giveaway, though, I'll be back to, and can I announce a winner after the next little phase? Why don't you email me? We have such a killer lineup of speakers tonight. Email me any other speaker ideas you've got for EDCO. First one that comes in gets $100 to Old Mill. Thanks.
Amazing. Thanks, Kurt. $100 to the Old Mill. Whew, that's exciting. Okay, next up, Trevor Campbell, Kernet Stokes. Trevor, where are you? I did see you. I saw you on the way in. There we are.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Trevor Campbell with Kernet Stokes. My Kernet Stokes team in the back, raise your hands. So if you want to glance back there, you are looking at the Bend Parks Rec League Adult Fall Group E Curling Champions. So, yeah, that's us. We've got the beanies to prove it, so ask about that next time. So we're a CPA firm, and something I've been thinking about is money is personal. We think of it a lot of times as an impersonal thing, but what it represents is the hard work and effort that you spend all day doing. And when we work with business owners, I think that's something that we really kind of take to heart. They're not just, it's not about like picking out which numbers to put in which boxes. It's way deeper than that. You know, hearing Emma and Roselle talk about the planning for the future, that's the kind of same relationship that we want. I'm sure it's the same relationship that BBK is looking for. And I had a conversation with someone earlier about, you know, artificial intelligence. It's a hot topic. Is that going to replace the need for accountants? And I think that there's a lot of tasks that we do that it can replace and make it more efficient. But the biggest value we provide to clients is not just like those little tasks. It's not just searching and adding up numbers. It's the conversations that we have over days and weeks and months and years, understanding what their goals are, understanding what they're trying to accomplish, understanding when they want to sell their business, what they want to do with their money later, how they want to transfer that to their families. And I don't think that AI is going to replace that. I don't think that AI is going to, until it can look you in the eye and shake your hand and have that personal connection, I really have no fear of our sort of our job status or anything. So I just want to leave you with that. That's what we strive for, and that's the kind of clients that we enjoy working with. So thanks.
Thanks, Trevor. Really well said. Really well said. Trusted advisors cannot be replaced by AI. Okay, who's our winner?
Shannon McGivney's our big winner. She wants to hear more on AI. Woohoo!
Ooh, $100 to the Old Mill. How about a round of applause for that? Love all the prizes being given out tonight. And let's give a hand to all of our title sponsors, Kernet Stokes, Providence Health Plans, Roselle Wealth Management, Best and Krieger, and Vlog Systems. These partners make PubTalk a reality. We are so grateful for you all. So show these guys some good energy. Put your hands together. And now for an update on the economic development efforts from Sun River Lapine Economic Development Executive Director Patricia Lucas. Patricia, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Shannon. Hi, everyone. I'm Patricia Lucas. I cover the South Deschutes County. Working in partnership with EDCO, I move, start, and grow businesses in my area. I just wanted to share some of the highlights of what's going on down there. I don't know how many of you get down to Sun River Lapine. Hopefully you do that often. If you haven't, I encourage you to. You may not know that Lapine is one of the fastest growing cities in the state. We were ranked number 2. And in the last 10 years, we've had 87.19% growth in population. And a lot of that is in housing growth. So if you're looking for a good value on a house, check it out. It's probably the most competitively priced housing area in Central Oregon. In order to have new housing growth, the city also has to have great infrastructure. So they just completed a $50 million water and sewer expansion, which will accommodate 1,500 additional residents and new businesses in the commercial areas of the community. A project I'm really excited about is we received funding for a small business incubator, and within the next 30 days, we'll be sending out the request for proposal for that. We will be able to accommodate 3 to 5 traded sector businesses, and the purpose of an incubator is to provide technical skills to the people who start those businesses that they may not have. Often they know how to make a widget, but they don't always know how to administer a business. I ran one for, I'm gonna date myself, for 30 years. Loved it, all-time favorite project that I ever worked on. People come in with stars in their eyes, they wanna start a business, and we help them, achieve their dreams. So they're pretty awesome projects. A couple of other things is we don't have a lot of space, industrial space in La Pine or Sun River, and I have 2 developers that are gonna be building spec buildings. So that will help us greatly because 80% of all people who come in, when they start a business, they often want a building already constructed. They don't wanna go through the construction process. So we think that that will help us in attracting more businesses. And we now have a high-rise in La Pine. We have we have the 3-story La Pine Community Health Center that's almost complete, so it'll be great for people in the south end of the county and northern Klamath County where they can get some of their medical or health services a little bit closer to home. I've been working with a company in the advanced manufacturing sector. They do coordinate measuring, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like tolerances and making sure everything fits together the way it's supposed to for the aerospace industry. They just submitted their site plan to the city, and they're gonna build a 15,200 square foot building, and they probably will have some of the highest wages in Central Oregon. So we're really excited about that. Lots going on. If you need a new space for your business because you're growing, please consider South Deschutes County. I'd love to talk to you. And we also have lots of recreational opportunities. Hopefully you've been down there, or if you haven't been, I encourage you to visit some of those. Thank you.
Thanks, Patricia. It's always so good to hear from South Deschutes County. Does the high-rise have an escalator, though? That's my question. Elevator, we'll take it. All right, thanks, Patricia. Okay, we'd like to extend a thank you to all of our EDCO members. EDCO membership underwrites a variety of support and resources, including events just like this one, and efforts to build a prosperous and sustainable economy. If you're not a member, we would love to strongly encourage you today to become one, and we're pleased to announce our newest EDCO members, A to Z Home Loans, Applied Partners, Bend Redmond Habitat for Humanity, Coin Studios, I think y'all are here. Maybe you're in the other room. Evergreen Business Capital, Green Savers, who are also here with us tonight, Hobbs Engineering, JGP Wealth Management, who is here, Kindred is here, LRS Architects, Mark Jamnick, Subliminal Story Art, who is also here, lots of fun people for you to talk to tonight, Varsity Real Estate, Walker Structural Engineering, and Cascade Disposal. If you want to hear your business called out at a future pub talk and learn more about EDCO membership, visit Larry Holman or any of the EDCO team here tonight, and let's make it happen. All right, my friends, I am really excited to introduce to you Tommy Szymanski of Mansky Media for a couple of words on Mansky Media.
Well, thank you very much. I was really tempted to put together an embarrassing skit to have Shannon do, just because we are a marketing agency and we have to be creative. But I decided not to. But I am going to have you guys do a little exercise with me. Anybody here not know the movie Joe Dirt? Okay, everybody knows it. I want you to have that mental picture in your mind right now. And everyone's laughing, everyone's going, oh no. What? Okay, so have Joe in your mind. Is there anybody in here who is a tradesperson? Any kind of construction, landscaping, anything like that? Anybody? Stand up, please. Oh yeah, come on. Actually, come on down here. You don't know what you're getting into, but you're getting into this. Okay, so Perfect. Good-looking dude who looks like he knows what he's doing. So let's now do a juxtaposition in your mind. Imagine Joe Dirt and William. Tom, how are you? Nice to meet you. Thank you. So now if you were sitting there going, you're with Newport Avenue Landscaping. Okay, you need a landscaper. You have two options. You got Joe Dirt, who's going to get it taken care of the right way, or you got William here. Who are you going to go with just based on that visual appearance? Who do you think is going to do a better job? Who's going to be more William? Okay, anybody in here say Joe Dirt? There we go. We got to get at least one. Okay, thank you very much. You can sit back down. My point is this. When it comes to marketing a business, a lot of people don't take the time to realize that what they put out there probably looks like Joe Dirt. Okay? Sorry to say it. I'm so sorry, but I get it all the time, especially when we are in trades or different professions. What people see has that kind of impression. And so you as business owners, leaders, doesn't matter what industry you're in, your digital presence is what will completely dictate how people feel about you. Because you don't usually get the opportunity to just meet them in person. It is really like, no, they're going to look you up, and if your website is ugly, they're going to think that your work is going to be ugly. And so what I'm asking tonight is if you know anybody who's in that spot where they're like, we don't do a lot on our digital marketing front or any marketing at all. Our website's old. We don't do any videos. Social media doesn't exist to us. If you know anybody like that who's in a business that needs help with those, send them our way. We're a full-service marketing agency here in town. We do everything from websites to videos to social media to SEO. You name it, if it's marketing, we do it. And it's all here in town. Our office is right on 3rd Street. You all drive by it every single day, or pretty darn close. So if you know anyone who needs help and wants to work with a local agency, send them my way, and would love to connect. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Tommy. I do want to point out that Joe Dirt would make a good name for a landscaping company. And I think Tommy owes William $100 to the old mill. So that's what I'll also add to that. Okay. Up next is our exciting keynote, The Power of Differentiation, How Great Design Shapes Exceptional Brands, presented by Rob Williams. Rob is an award-winning designer with over 20 years of experience in industrial and brand design. He has led design and brand initiatives for companies like Rivian, Lightship RV, and Nike, working on diverse products ranging from electric vehicles to footwear. Rob is currently head of creative at Lightship RV, where he leads brand and design for the launch of the company's first product, the AE1 Aero Electric Travel Trailer. Previously, as chief creative officer at Rivian, he guided the design and branding of the R1T and R1S, playing a key role in the company's $100 billion IPO. Rob also founded Wilco, a global design consultancy focused on helping startups and established brands like The North Face create innovative products and strategic brand identities. Before Rivian, he significantly contributed to Nike's running footwear division, driving a revenue increase from $1 billion to nearly $5 billion in 6 years. Please help me welcome Rob to the PubTalk stage.
Thanks, Shannon. They said she was an amazing MC, and they were not lying. What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm Rob Williams. I think the intro did a pretty good job. Bend, I don't know if I'm a Bend local. I've only been here for 6 years. I lived in Portland. We were there for 9 years, and we visited this place, fell in love with it. So been here 6 years, and really think that Bend has an amazing local community. I'm so excited to talk to you guys all tonight. I realize that we've got CPAs, we've got lawyers, we've got CPAs that know curling champions and all kinds of crazy stuff. So this is a different crowd. They let a designer in here tonight, but I promise it's going to circle back around to business. So what we're going to talk about, like I said, is the power of differentiation. And the way that I want to talk about this is every business can be affected through design. So just a real quick question, how many people in here have actually worked with a design agency or any type of, okay, all right, cool, oh, all right, Very surprising. Love it. So you guys are dialed in then. I don't need to, I'm done here. So what we're going to talk about is how great design shapes exceptional brands. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of a journey and storytelling about how brand can grow business. I think first off, from an intro standpoint, these are, of course, the brands that I've worked with. Lightship's where I'm currently at. Rivian, we'll talk a little bit about. Nike as well. I was at Jeep in Detroit. That was my first professional job. And then the North Face is up there because through my consultancy, I work with a lot of different brands. So busy guy. I love a lot of different projects and doing different things. And then I'm just going to jump right into it because honestly, I prepared way too many slides and I don't want to bore you guys. So I'm going to move really quick tonight through this, but I think you'll learn a little bit. I started out at the Chrysler Corporation, and I studied to be a transportation designer. So that means you design the exterior or the interior of an automobile, anything that you can touch. So I'm not an engineering degree. And these are the two first products that I worked on. Both of them were billion-dollar programs for Chrysler. I was a 26-year-old guy at the time, and there was a lot of pressure. That was my first corporate job, and I was very fortunate to be able to work on these two products. They're not, from a design perspective, maybe the most beautiful cars, but they look good, and they were meant to serve a purpose for consumers. My first lesson at Chrysler was you design something, and then you take it down to Dallas, Texas, where people buy trucks and SUVs like this, and you have about 4,000 people come in on a Tuesday. You pay them $25. They get some refreshments, and then they basically list out all the things that they love or don't love about your design. And so that was a really interesting experience for me, getting feedback from all of these thousands of people that marketing would give back to us and say, hey, really what people want is more chrome on the front end of a truck. So that was the big insight. But it was a great learning experience. It was Detroit. It was like battle within in the company for resources and engineering, fighting with engineering on 3mm gaps. But learned a lot from this experience. When I was a kid, when I was in 7th grade, I spent math and reading class basically drawing cars and shoes. I don't think I ever did an equation right, but I had plenty of cool designs in my notebook. So when I decided to leave Chrysler, I went to Nike and really got an education in brand, but I was a designer on the footwear team in running. In the running category. And so these are some of the projects that I worked on. Each one of these represents anywhere from $400 to $700 million of revenue for the company. And you're designing this as a designer. So you're taking inputs from the business, from all sorts of places. There's lots of noise. And so I learned under pressure at Chrysler how to handle that. And then at Nike, I also had that pressure, but what the difference was between the two companies is one really valued design, and one really valued selling as many vehicles as possible. And so the experience at Chrysler was really valuable for me to learn how to work under that pressure. It led me to Nike. And then at Nike, like I said, working and running, you get access to all the best innovation. You get access to all the best brand. And these are shoes that would land on Super Bowl commercials. The bottom right one did. And then they land in advertisements in Times Square. So really interesting to see how they would take a shoe that's going to be on sale in 6 months and pitch it to the world as the most innovative, amazing thing in the world. And what this did, though, was give me basically a free education in brand. In running, I sat next to some of the best people in the world in terms of how to pitch a company and tell stories around a product. When I was at Nike, I was consulting with RJ Scaringe from Rivian, back before it was Rivian. It was 12 guys in a little warehouse in South Florida. His dad was a rocket scientist, and RJ wanted to start a car company. So a friend that worked with him that randomly moved down to Florida met RJ and then called me up, and he's like, hey, I'm working with this guy that wants to start a car company. So naturally, I'm like, well, I'm designing shoes all day. It'd be nice to get back into automotive a little bit. Now, they had $1 million in investment, and they had no idea what they were doing. They were like, hey, come join us. And I'm like, maybe not. I'll just contract with you guys for now. But 5 years later, in 2017, RJ called up and he's like, hey, I just raised $200 million. I just bought a factory in Illinois. I want to start a company that is all electric vehicles, and we're going to do a truck and an SUV. Are you interested? And in my mind, I was like, yes, I don't care what you pay me, I'm there. Of course, I used some leverage, and I was like, oh, I'll think about it. RJ is one of the smartest guys I've ever worked with. But basically, at Rivian, I basically oversaw the design of the R1T and R1S, as Shannon mentioned. That includes the exterior, the interior, so the colors, the material, the finish, the design of the components, and then the screen in the middle, the UI, UX. And then also the way that the brand came to life. So it was an absolute dream job. And I think the experience at Chrysler first, experience at Nike after, and putting together, roughly 12, 13 years of experience, and knowing the outdoor world and loving adventure and being in the outdoors, it's why we moved to Bend. I felt like I knew this was going to be something special. It was absolutely a dream job, but at a certain point, I'm like, hey, the culture's not right for me. I'm actually going to jump out, but got them ready for launch, and then decided I can move anywhere in the world. Where do I want to go? Chose this place, Bend, Oregon. And so been here for the last 6 years, like I mentioned, started a design consultancy, and along the way, met the co-founders of Lightship RV. And I'm a generalist in terms of design, between product design and brand design. I kind of do it all. I design socks at Nike, cars. Like, I love designing things. And I always looked at trailers and I'm like, why do they have to look so bad? It's like if you took Pamela Anderson's arm tattoo and put it on the side of every single RV, that's what it always looked like to me. So, but Lightship, what we're doing is we're basically creating a trailer that has batteries on board. If you own a Rivian or an electric vehicle, you can tow anything you want, you just can't tow it for very long. So this basically delivers range back to the vehicle and allows you to go on your trip faster. This is when it's lowered in what we call road mode, and then this is it when it's in camp mode. And so it's a completely new experience in terms of RVing, and we think that it matches with the type of consumer that might be own a Rivian or a Tesla. And then this is the interior. Again, if you've been in an RV, it's kind of like you're in a submarine, and we wanted to change that. So that's kind of a snapshot of my experience. This is CES a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas. We launched our production vehicle, and this is kind of how we showed up from the brand standpoint. So again, just making sure that brand and product always speaks together and knows each other really well creates value for a business, and I'm super lucky to be able to do this type of work. So really quickly, what is design? I'm going to take you through kind of the process of how we created the Lightship or the Rivian, and this is a process that I've learned, and we just kind of take it through any product that I'm designing. So what is design? Design is the intentional process of creating solutions that blend form, function, and emotion to basically solve users' problems or needs. That's what design is ultimately. People think that we just kind of like are good at colors or like draw this and yeah, that's pretty. It's actually very much more intentional than that, and it's a process that we follow. And then what does design do? Design really shapes experiences, it drives innovation, and it differentiates brands by translating ideas. RJ was like, hey, I want to start an adventure company, into tangible, meaningful outcomes that resonate with people. So that's what design is, that's what it does. And then this is kind of the process that we go through. So we always start with the end user. As a designer, you always have to check. And this is something that as business people, you have to know your consumer, because if you don't know that, you don't really have a business. But you got a baby on the left, old couple on the right, and then you've got everybody in between. So as you're designing for people, if you're going to design a product for a baby, it's going to be very different than a product that you would design for the elderly. And product goes across all these spans of users. So we go deep on the consumer, understand what their problems are, and then from that, we start to develop a point of view by taking that user feedback, listening to what the business needs are, and then also looking at the marketplace, seeing where the holes are, seeing what are the opportunities. And from that, you take all the white noise in your head from all the feedback, and you got to find a point of view. And that little red dot is where the company's going. And it's not easy to get there because you have to filter all of this information. So what you see here is how we started at Lightship. Ben, our co-founder, had an idea. He was like, hey, people need to go longer on their journeys. If they have an electric vehicle, I want to create a trailer that does that. So this is where we started. We're like, okay, this is all the different types of design that it's going to pull from. It's got wheels. It's going to go on the road. We need it to be really aerodynamic, so it's got an element of automotive, architectural. And so we incorporated all of these different disciplines of design into the Lightship. The next thing we did was we wanted to create a different experience, all the windows around. So you see the lounge, or you see the left image, that's the lounge that's in the interior. So if you go check out the Lightship, you'll see that. But this is the way that we communicate to leadership and our other business partners about this is the direction we want to go before we even start the design. And then we knew it would need compact functionality. We really wanted to have a modern aesthetic. Airstream already has a Pottery Barn edition, so we knew we weren't going that direction. And then adaptable storage. So this is kind of how we get the team aligned to our point of view. Once we agree on that, as designers, we start to visualize the ideas and solutions that are kind of percolating in the atmosphere around us. And we get into sketches. So this is a 2-inch sketch on a book, and this basically turned into the Lightship. This was kind of the first sketch. And then you can see this really dirty napkin sketch here. Looks like a guy or girl reading a book up in there in the interior and kind of experiencing the outdoors, and that's basically what it turned into. So design's really powerful in being able to, in the early stages of a company, understand and interpret what ideas can turn into. And then we turn it into 3D. We start to look at volumetrics, how people move in the space, what does the space look like, and how do you break down the zones. And then on the brand side, what we did was we started to look at typography, colors, photography. All of these things seem maybe insignificant if you're just in the design or in the business space. But what this relates to is how you're basically connecting with your consumers. So we have to start to show this to our team so that we make sure that we're aligned. And then from there, we see into the future. So I'm going to transition a little bit. Once you have the product kind of solidified and everybody's kind of okay with the direction you're heading, then you have to start to think about, okay, how's the brand going to talk about this? And so an example here is the Apple. Computer on the left, 40 years old, computer on the right, 20 years old. But they were both iconic in terms of incorporating design in a new way that grew the business. So on the left, you've got the big hello sign. That was the first time that UI was actually made for a human and not just a coder. And then on the right, you've got a computer that was like, okay, we've got, I think at this point, this computer came out in the early 2000s, and in 97, this is when Apple changed to think different. So their brand was already talking about thinking different, and then what they did was they designed a product that looked unlike anything else. Computer on the right, if you remember back, we're all old enough in this room to remember these days, every product started to look like Apple computers. So it was really influential. But so they saw into the future, they took design and they said, we're going to differentiate. It doesn't have to be a beige box. And then the next thing we do is we turn products into experiences. So we go from this idea in the ether to some sketches, and then we turn it into eventually a product. And so I love this image because I remember the days back when RJ and I were talking about what this brand could be or what the vehicle could look like. And then you see it here, and this is a customer driving it down a 10,000-foot road in the middle of Colorado. It's an electric vehicle. No one even knew that electric vehicles could do that. So, the power of ideas and differentiating your design and your brand is really powerful. So love seeing these things actually out in the wild being used. Next thing we do is we communicate values. So this is a slide that I actually used at Rivian before we had anything sketched out. We were hiring the team. There was about 4 designers there when I got there, and we grew the team to about 45 people. But I gave this kind of speech to the board of directors, and I'm like, hey, the idea here is that you've got Apple, Nike, and Porsche. And if each one of you in the room are looking at those logos and you think about how do I feel about that brand just by looking at the logo is actually not the important thing about a brand. It's how each one of you is feeling right now, because some of you may look at the Porsche logo, love it, and some of you be like, that's not for me. And you might even be thinking about the person that buys these products and associating yourself with, yeah, that's me, or that's not me. So brand is actually much more powerful than just the logo that you have. You're connecting with people. And then the Rivian logo on the right, words out, we'll see if they're successful in 40 years and still around like Nike and Apple, but they're on the right path, and eventually I think they will get there. So this is, again, just being able to put those ideas out for your own business, like where do we want to go, what do we want to do, is incredibly powerful. And then we create emotional connection. So, and I know this is like, for business owners, this is fuzzy stuff. It's like emotional connection, what are we talking about? But the importance here, and this is actually the most important thing, the emotional connection that you have, through the brand, you want people to love you, love what you do, and connect with your values. I love these two brand images. Nike does it better than anybody. And this idea of just do it has just stuck around, and it's the best tagline ever. And it's amazing that it just came from a couple hours away from here, right? Like in Oregon, we have so many amazing businesses that have come from here. Even Wyden and Kinney that did just do it is in Portland. So if you're a young kid, you want to be like Katie. That's aspirational. On the left, if you're an older person and you want to own a Porsche, you've put your time in and you've got the money, you want to go fast. And so they're connecting emotionally with customers here. I'm going to go into why that's important. But first, just wanted to ask, think about what brands you love. You can probably think of one or two brands right now in your head that you're like, man, I love that brand. The thing to know about that is that a whole team of people actually made you love that brand. They knew what your values are. They're communicating those values out to you. And so just think about, why do I love that brand? And then relate it to your business, and how do you make people love your business? And then, so just to wrap it up, what does design do? We start with the end user. We develop a point of view. We visualize ideas. We see into the future. We turn ideas into experiences. We communicate our values, because that's what people want to know from your company or your brand. What do you stand for? And then lastly, we create an emotional connection. And when you do that, that's when things really start to happen. Next is kind of what we're talking about here, the power of differentiation. So why is it so important? This is where we'll go away from all the lovey-dovey emotional connection stuff a little bit. We're going to come back to it, I promise you. But business equals bottom line. So I've never worked with a co-founder or a founder or a business owner that's like, hey, next year I want to have a smaller bottom line. So when we talk about design and differentiation in your business, it actually drives value, and that's the importance. So differentiation helps brands connect in a crowded marketplace. You've got a lot of competition. Every company does. It's just the truth. Steve Jobs said it best. He was like, we're Apple. Apple has 10 seconds to connect with our consumer before they move on to the next thing. If your business or Lightship or Rivian, they have 1.5, 2 seconds. So how do you make an impact? And that's why differentiation is actually really important. If Apple only has 10 seconds, how long do you have? And then this idea of transition or transaction or connection. So imagine you are a parent, you've got a 3-year-old snotty-nosed toddler, you got him in the cart, and you're just trying to get out of the grocery store and get to dinner, right? So what brands do to attract your attention is Ajax over here on the left is a transactional relationship. They know you've got 2 seconds. And so look, 28 ounces, Ajax Ultra, grapefruit, liquid dish soap. At that moment in time, that's all the shelves looked like. There was nothing else on the shelf. And then along came a brand called Method, and they wanted to connect. They're like, hey, we're actually gonna do it differently. So they stripped it down, they made it really simple. And if you think about taking these products home, which one are you going to leave out on your counter just for ease of use versus which one are you going to hide? I know which one I would hide, and it's Ajax, good old 28-ounce, 828 milliliters over here. So, that is a transactional relationship because they know, hey, we just need somebody to buy this really quickly. So that's, and the Method came in and took a lot of market share. And then again, you've got big box stores like Walmart or Costco. Not talking bad about them. They've got great businesses. They make all kinds of money. But you also have IKEA, and these are both warehouse businesses that have low-priced items. But the way they're connecting with their consumer is through their brand and telling stories while you're in the store. And so, just a very different relationship with the customer. And then, if you're in the digital space, same thing here. This is in the crypto space. So on the left, you've got Coinbase, one of the biggest wallets. They're actually the biggest wallet. And then in the right, you've got a newcomer called Exodus. And they just have beautiful UI. They're Apple guys that started a company, and they understand user interface a lot better than the team at Coinbase. So one feels like you're just going to a blank website. The other feels like something that someone's thought about, and you might end up trusting them more. So differentiation creates connection. So that's a big idea, is like creating connection. How do you connect with your consumer and make them trust you? When you do connect, then you start to create cults. And everybody here knows Patagonia. I'm sure half the people in this room are wearing it. But this, Yves Chenard started this because he was a rock climber, and he was like, hey, I want to go rock climbing. I need good clothes. What he didn't realize, as someone that loves the environment, is that he was getting into one of the dirtiest businesses in the world. And so he had this dilemma of, okay, I've got these values. I want to protect the environment. I love it. That's what I'm doing. How do we make our product better? And then how do we tell that story? And so I absolutely love Patagonia and they even have a creative team in-house. So their designers sit next to their brand designers. And so they're just constantly talking. And the brand's so succinct and tight because of that. And then that's why so many people here in Bend and everywhere else love Patagonia. So it's really, again, creating that connection and then creating those and showing those values and making sure that those people that wear your clothes are actually aligned to your values and showing that off, and they're proud of wearing Patagonia. And then once you get to cult status, it drives business value through loyalty. So, the next slide coming after Patagonia, we've got Tesla. So I did that intentionally because whatever you think about Musk, what he has done is he's completely flipped the automotive industry, an entrenched industry, on its head by creating a product that he believed in. And I think the value that comes from the people that love Teslas, that's how they didn't spend marketing dollars. They just had people talking about their product to other people. So whatever business you might run, every time you have that good transaction, word of mouth is just as powerful as any other marketing technique. And then Yeti. Who needs a $400 cooler? Apparently a ton of people. So, I love this branding because you've got generations to break down, and then you've got generations to break in. It's brilliant marketing because it's like, yeah, we're expensive, but we're also the best in the industry, and it's going to last you forever. And so, then what that does is because they sold a $400 cooler, now they can sell you an $80 Hydro Flask, honestly, right? Hydro Flask did it first. But the marketing around it, it's that loyalty that keeps people coming back. And then just in the footwear industry really quickly, you guys know these brands, Hoka and On, I see them all over Bend. But Nike's an established player. You can't touch Nike. That was the thinking 5 to 6 years ago. What they did is they both came in with a really distinct point of view. And Hoka is loud, obnoxious, comfortable. It's all of those things. And people they love it. They can't get enough of it. And On was like, okay, we're Swiss. We see you, American company. We're going to do it super tastefully. And we're going to look like our stores are a science lab. And so, two different takes on how to take market share away from an entrenched leader through the point of view of design and brand. And you can see here that when I talk about brand, it's the way that the store comes to life. It's everything that you touch and feel and how they present themselves. And then they're doing it in the service of selling that product. All right, so I'm moving pretty quick here. We're almost done, so thank you for your patience. So why is differentiation important? I think this is a really good slide. So if business equals a bottom line, right? You all are business owners. The bottom line is the most important thing. But what you have to do is be able to create a connection. And so differentiation creates that connection because now you can start to identify yourself with that brand, why they're different, what their values are. And then connection creates cults. And what cults create are loyal fans, which drive value, and then value equals big business, and then you just start this cycle over and over because you're going to create another product or you're going to come up with another service. So again, this idea of being able to be different than your competition is so important. And then just a couple more slides. So design transforms business. I don't care if it's B2C or B2B. I didn't talk a lot about B2B here, but if you think about Salesforce, they knew what their users needed. They put it all into one nice package, and they blew up because of that. You can be big or small. You can be physical or digital. You can be a lawyer or a landscaper. And then you can be a product or a service or a profit or nonprofit company. Design and brand and thinking about how you're connecting with your consumer can help you. I know I've talked a lot about big brands because they're easy to know, but talking to local business owners, I think it's really important. My son's right here in the second row. He's a young local business owner. This is Brett. And his buddy Adam, they run Live Junkless. They're a junk removal business. He's 23. He's got 8 guys and 4 trucks. So he's living this, and he's doing this through his customer service. He has the best customer service, and he's finding other ways to differentiate himself. So I want to, I don't want this just to be about Nike and Porsche and all these big brands. And then basically, design transform business by focusing on the end user. So always know your consumer. Promoting innovative solutions, driving consistency. That's one thing that you have to do is be consistent. And then building trust and loyalty, and then adding value to the bottom line. So at the base of it, design is differentiation. And then just in closing, is design a part of your strategy? So that's what I've got. I don't know how long I went. I hope it was.
Oh, I think you did great. How about a round of applause for our friend Rob? Your kid is the junkless guy? Are you kidding me? You guys have such an incredible reputation. It's so cool. And if you all have a garage full of junk, those are your guys. But you do something really special, and people talk about you in the community. So that's so cool. I feel like I just met somebody famous. That was awesome. This was so helpful and so interesting, and I want to talk a little bit more about the RV trailers because, man, I see those things around, and I'm like, no chance. I'm not getting in one of those old nasty things. They're off-gassing. They're just absolutely terrible. So they are. Yuck. So tell me a little bit more about, where can we go see one? Yep. Where are you at in the process with this?
Yeah, so lightshiprv.com, go check us out. Do it on desktop. The phone is good, but it's really special on the desktop. And then we're going to start basically a series of trips around the West Coast mainly, a little bit into Texas. But we just launched our production unit. It's pretty amazing. Nothing's been made like this before. So it's kind of like an Airstream Plus. And yeah, we're going to start letting consumers in. We're selling them now. And we've been working for about the last 3 years. We're based in San Francisco and in Denver. And we've got some of the best climate tech investors behind us. And now it's time to make this thing real, the business real. So
yeah, I agree. I can't wait to start seeing them around. They're so cool. Okay, questions for Rob from the audience. Raise your hand. Yes, in the back. Okay, this is a great question. So this is wants clarification on the battery on the trailer. Does it just kind of handle itself, or does it actually improve the performance of the vehicle?
Yeah, so it's basically a car. It's got a drive motor on it. It's got 2 batteries. It's 80 kilowatts, so it's a huge battery. And then the drive unit, what it does is it talks to, we've got a patented hitch sensor. We've got some amazing Tesla engineers. But basically it takes the hitch feedback from the vehicle, and the sensors kind of tell the drive motor to slow down or to speed up, and so it matches the speed of the truck, and you can actually feel it when you're driving. So if you're going downhill, it'll kind of slow you down a little bit, and then when you're going uphill, it helps push the vehicle up.
Well, that's so cool. And so you can only drive it with an electric vehicle, is that right?
No, that's not right, but I'm glad you brought that up. We're focused on electric vehicles initially because we think the consumers are, they're early mindset consumers, but really if you have a gas or a diesel truck, it basically, whatever your highway mileage is without towing, it matches that due to the drive unit, but also the aerodynamics of it.
That is incredible.
So,
That's
yeah.
incredible. Probably couldn't tow one behind my wagon, though, huh? You need a big diesel
Not the
truck.
wagon,
Okay,
this one's
well,
a little heavier. Yeah.
I'll keep dreaming. Okay, any other questions for Rob? Yes. Oh, this is a great question. Okay, for a business that's hiring a designer, how do you evaluate that designer's merit, how they could contribute to your team?
Yeah, I think the portfolio is the most important thing, years of experience, and the work has to kind of speak for itself, but more importantly than the work is the attitude. So it's just like any other hire. If you want to hire a designer on, they have to be able to work hard, support the business, And you really want to look for someone that's going to kind of be by your side and take you where you need to go. So, there's all kinds of different designers. I don't know what kind of designer you're trying to hire, but that portfolio is super important, but attitude's the most.
Great answer. I love that. Okay, any other questions for Rob? Raise your hand for me. Are you a designer? Yeah, you. Oh, okay. You're just like, maybe one day. Yeah. No.
He's like,
maybe
no,
a
I just
friend.
want the
He's
designer
like,
to do what I need to do.
Okay, any other questions for Rob? Really? Okay, go. Yes, Talina. Okay. So she's asking about kind of like things that support the battery. Are there solar panels? Like, does it just have to be plugged in? How do you get it recharged?
Yeah, I don't know how technical you all are, but it's got 2 kilowatt hours of solar on top. So basically, you could take this thing. We've actually heard from a lot of consumers that they want to use this as a tiny home. They're not going to plug it in, and they're like, "How long will this go for?" And right now, with the solar capacity, it's like 10 times what a traditional home setup is. You can stay off grid for a week, if not more, if the solar conditions are right. So just off the battery and the solar alone, we're calling it a week, but we know that that's a little bit conservative.
And then it'll probably improve with time, right? It sounds like you guys are like really aiming high on this thing. So.
Yep. It's, everything about it is just completely unlike anything else. I mean, like literally our engineering team is all from, I know I talked a lot about design, but to create a product, the engineering team has to be excellent. So it's all Rivian, Tesla guys, and yeah.
And so, like, when you guys are in the room and you're drawing the things and are you just like nerding out so hard? You're just like, this is so exciting for someone who does what you do. What has that been like?
Yeah, no, I was nervous coming here because I totally nerd out on this stuff, and it's like business owners. But no, it's been a fun experience. There's a lot of really talented people, like I said, great investors, and it's been a fun journey creating the product. So.
Yeah, well, this is so cool. Okay, final questions. Anybody? All right, well, okay, there is somebody in the back. Is that you, William? Oh, amazing. Okay, what do you got for us?
What advice can you give to a small business who is looking to differentiate themselves from a brand perspective?
I love this question. So what advice could you give to a small business that's looking to differentiate themselves among others that they're competing against?
Yeah, no, that's kind of why I'm here tonight. So I think the first thing to do is look at like how you're reaching out to the customers. You've got to get your brand in order. You've got to make sure that it looks professional. What you're trying to do really through design is just create trust. So you came up here, you're a good-looking guy, you're better than Joe Dirt, and you obviously know how to run a good business. So through the power of design and through the power of your brand, what you're really trying to do is just create that trust that you're the best provider of that service. So website, the way that you send your email strategy, all of those things are what you can do to kind of differentiate yourself. But there's a whole visual element to that. So I didn't get into the specifics tonight, but talk to me afterwards and we can talk.
Yeah, and so do you think there's value for a company like Williams to maybe get a design consultant to come in and kind of take a look at everything and maybe make some improvements, tweak some things?
It's the reason I'm here tonight. Every business can use design to create more value for themselves and a better bottom line. Like I said, it just makes you look more professional. It's easier to trust you. There's a fairly low bar in local businesses sometimes. And so, I work with big brands, but I do have a passion for smaller companies that are doing a great service, are great people. And so, yeah, I think every business should be looking at using a design agency of some sort. Don't think about it as, think about it as you're going to get a return on investment. I know it might not traditionally show up on your sheets, but it's worth the investment, and you'll see that money back. Right,
and I'd imagine if you're working with the right designer, like you could probably phase it out. Like the most important thing is like this and this. Let's do that first. Let's see where we, like.
Absolutely. I mean, there's great design agencies here in town. I've worked with some of them before, and they'll work with your budget. So don't be nervous to approach a design agency. They're here for you guys. Like it's just like you with your business. You're not going to turn away business. They'll figure out how to work with you at the moment that you're in the company.
Yeah, I love that you said every type of business can benefit from this. I think that's so true, especially now when creating a brand is so important, almost equally important to the service that you actually offer. So that was really interesting. Well, I hope you'll come back and give us an update because I want to hear more about these trailers, and maybe one day you'll be able to pull one up and we can all get inside of it. I mean, not at the same time. They're not huge. but
No, actually,
I'd
we
love
could
to
probably
see.
all fit.
We could all
It'd
fit?
be fine. And we'll have beers.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Rob. This was
Okay.
really great. You're
Thank
awesome.
you, everybody.
How about another round of applause for Rob Williams? And a round of applause for our MVP, William, in the back. Excellent question. Thank you so much. Our events aren't possible without the support of our community partners, such as TDS. Over the last 10 years, TDS has invested nearly $100 million across Central Oregon in broadband infrastructure, working to future-proof connectivity services by ensuring the most advanced technology and robust network available. Our fiber optic network continues to expand, outpacing new business and residential growth and technology demands. And as a way of giving back and to say thank you for the past 10 years serving Central Oregon, TDS recently rolled out a free upgrade to 1 gigabyte internet to all customers and serviceable addresses. This exciting upgrade serves as a testament to the infrastructure upgrades made over the past 10 years and TDS's commitment to providing unmatched connectivity service across Central Oregon. Next up, we are thrilled to invite to the PubTalk stage Eric Turner, co-founder and CEO of CloseOutdoor, to introduce an online marketplace providing consumers great deals on their favorite outdoor brands. Welcome, Eric.
Okay, well, we can get right into it. This is CloseOutdoor. We are an asset-free, off-price marketplace. My name is Eric Turner. I am the CEO and co-founder. I have 15 years of growth marketing experience, including being the head of growth at Copyak. I also work at Omnicom Media, where I've been the head of growth and head of investment for some of the world's biggest brands, Gap, Porsche through the Volkswagen Group, and tons of others, also Method through S.C. Johnson. So I've worked on a ton of giant brands. And then my co-founder, who's not here tonight, he lives in Salt Lake City, but he is the CTO, that is Frank Westphal. He has 25 years of engineering leadership experience, including building the entire back-end architecture of Copak's website. If you're familiar with their Del Dia process and how we have a unique product for all of those different backpacks, he built all of that, which is super impressive to me. So the problem that we are solving today is this chasm that exists between a product's full price moment and a product's liquidation moment. So after a product goes through its full price life cycle, it enters this off-price stage where it really lingers on a brand's website, and it might be there for weeks, months, years in some cases. And what this does is lower the demand and the profit margin, for full price items. And this also erodes a brand's image, right? We talked a lot about brands. You think about Bed Bath & Beyond. If you walked into Bed Bath & Beyond without a discount, like, you were the sucker, right? Like brands don't want to be on sale. They don't want to be the person that's on sale. And so the solution that we're bringing is this bridge from full price product moments to liquidation product moments. So CloseOutdoor, we are the solution. We are this bridge. We offer our partner brands a moment here to go from full price liquidation while we protect their brand discount image and we add margin to their bottom line. So how do we do that? Like I said, we're an asset-free, off-price marketplace. What does that mean? Asset-free. We hold no inventory, right? We don't hold any inventory. I'm going to say it 3-4 times for everybody. We hold no inventory. I don't have a distribution team. I don't have a warehouse. I don't have any of that. We do all of this by connecting with brands, tapping into their inventory API, putting their sale product onto our website, transacting the sale in a zero-party kind of way. We transact the sale, then we pass the order back via their order API, and they fulfill this via dropship. If you ever sold anything on Amazon fulfilled by seller, same methodology. Target moved to this during COVID, so did Walmart. A very common space since basically COVID. What's the benefit to the brand? CloseOutdoor handles all of the inbound marketing for off-price goods. If you've ever been a marketer, your worst nightmare is spending $1 to get a transaction that is then put on sale, right? Your profit margin gets destroyed. Your CFO is probably calling you up and just not happy with you, right? And we are eliminating this for brands. Brands also get to set the price and the product on our website via the API, so they can control how they want to be displayed in a sale moment, and they can control what that price is. If they want to sell product faster, they can lower the price, right? Basic price elasticity economics here is like lower the price, more units are going to sell. If they want to chase margin, they can keep the price higher. It's going to sell a little slower, but they're going to make a little more money for it. And then we are a revenue share pricing model. which means we eliminate the overhead risk to the brands. Brands are only paying us when the transaction happens, so they don't have to go out and cut us a check for anything. They only cut us a check when we collect their money. So our go-to-market here, we talked a lot about brand tonight. We are an adventure more, pay less. Our life mission is to tear down price as a barrier of entry into the outdoors. The outdoor industry is massive, $60 billion in outdoor gear and apparel sold in the US every year. About 15% of this is sold in an off-price or sale moment, right? So about $9 billion. We are gonna chase down this market by focusing on customer acquisition. We subscribe to this new customer all the time. We want brand awareness. We want that brand cult that we've talked about. We're gonna do this by targeting younger, price-sensitive customers, and we're gonna go after them with this sort of, we talked about Patagonia, Compass in the Nail is like one of my favorite reads ever. So we are gonna go after these people because we know they value experiences over things, but they still need things, right? They wanna spend their money on gas to drive down to Joshua Tree and go climbing, not on the pants that they need to do it. So these are our target customers, and we're gonna really win at the bottom of the funnel. Like I said, 15 years of growth marketing experience and standing up automation to capture the demand that we create at the top. So Facebook, Meta, TikTok, fingers crossed, Snapchat, all of these things. This is gonna be how we drive these conversions and drive this awareness that we create at the top. A bit of a competitive analysis here and how we stack up against our competitors. If we're talking about inventory, you've got people like REI with massive, and Amazon with massive amounts of inventory. They're also pushing to sell things at full price. Discounts for these brands, whether it's REI or Stio or Copyak, discounts of these things can be catastrophic, right? REI just the other day laid off 450 people because their bottom line's not hitting because they've got to sell everything on sale, right? On the other side of this, high inventory, you talk about Sierra, Steep and Cheap. If you've been around Oregon for a while, you probably remember The Climb. These guys are also sitting on inventory. The problem with this at the end of its life here on the bottom price is that inventory has no place to go, right? We are occupying this kind of bottom left. I've got Amazon out here as well because they have this fulfilled by seller where they do a little bit of no inventory, right? You can sell stuff from your living room on Amazon. We are sort of occupying this like medium price zone. We're not all the way down at the end, but we're holding no inventory again. So we're definitely occupying a space than all of our competitors in the market. And our roadmap launch, rapidly accelerating here. We have just finished our proof of concept. I've got a little video demo later. And we are bringing on brand partners. We've had a number of conversations with brand partners. Both my co-founder and I have worked in the industry, worked in outdoor for a long time. So some people might be in this room, depending on who's here. We are onboarding brands to bring in this. This will be a process we continue for forever. We are targeting a closed launch in March. It's like a friends and family round where you will have the opportunity to come in, check out what's on sale, make purchases, those types of things. And then we are going to an invite-only, members-only launch in early May. If you remember the days of Clubhouse and how Clubhouse launched, everybody got 5 invites and you could invite somebody in. And this is the moment that we start to see revenue flowing. And we'll probably see it come in our closed launch, right, if you guys decide you want to make a purchase. But revenue really starts coming in May. We have very little cost, right? We don't buy inventory. We've got some Amazon hosting fees. So we're almost like revenue positive out of the gate. And then we will start our marketing splashdown sometime in midsummer. In July, this is when we'll start going out in the marketplace, working with TikTok creators and influencers and these types of things, all of this 15 years of experience that I've got to drive that customer acquisition. So that's it, that's all I've got. If you're a qualified investor, we're currently raising $500,000 on a post-money safe. This is to fund our go live marketing moment to help buy those Meta ads and TikTok ads and Google ads and all that stuff. If you're a brand and you're in the room and you're interested, let's talk. I've got cards. I'll have my contact info up in a second. And if you just want to stay up to date, see what we're up to, you can go to CloseOutdoor.com. You can give us your email, name, all that kind of information. We'll kick you an email when we're ready to go, and that'll also get you into that sort of entry members-only initial round when we get started. And this is a quick little demo. I hate live demos, they're terrifying, but this is me clicking around on the site. You can see we've built a couple fake Shopify stores to bring in inventory. And this kind of rolls through, so you can check out these snowboards that are for sale and t-shirts and whatnot. And that's it. This is me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I've got cards. I think we're doing questions.
Yeah, let's do some questions. How about a round of applause for our friend Eric? This is so cool.
Thank you.
So how are you getting feedback so far from people that you're telling about this, and what's the response?
Yeah, we do have a lot of feedback, a lot of when can we sign up feedback, and a lot of, because we're a marketplace, we operate on two sides of this equation. We have brand partners that we're working with to bring in their inventory. We have consumers that we're also bringing to the site to make a purchase. So a lot of excitement on both sides of the equation. A lot of, we don't have signed contracts yet, but I would say if we went through a list of brands, you'd probably know 9.5 out of 10 of them. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like this is so cool because you're solving a pain point for the brands, but also for the consumer, and that's kind of just such a happy marriage. So, questions for Eric from the crowd? Yes, right here.
By protecting the brands from being considered discount, are you obfuscating the brand on your page, or is it that you're moving the transaction off of there?
So he has a specific question about how you're protecting the brand from being perceived as a discount site. So can you explain a little more how that helps the brand?
Yes, and I'm also, sorry, I'm fighting this cold that's going around and my mouth is very dry, but a little bit of both. In an ideal world, a brand wouldn't need their sale inventory on their site. So a brand could kill off their sale page, and we could take all of their sale transactions or discount. Off price is like sort of a nomenclature for any of it, sale, discount, clearance, whatever. The reality is it could live in both. That inventory can live in both places at the same time. So they could have it on their site. There's a number of fallacies that exist around customer acquisition and what it means to acquire your first customer on a discount, right? That's not always the best, right? If your first experience with, I don't know, Patagonia is that you got something 30% off, you're always going to expect that 30% off. So we're taking that from the brand so they can focus on full price margin, full price revenue. Their sales and planning teams can talk about how we get new product on the site and how we get rid of old products. So a little bit of both to answer your question, but in an ideal world, we're handling all, I think at one point we played with the idea of like the sale page for the outdoor industry.
So cool. And they could conceivably sell it at a discount on one price on their site and then list it something different on yours, or how does that work?
All the inventory on our site will be on sale, will be below MSRP. It would probably be the same price that's on theirs, just mostly due to API integration and pulling price. So in theory, maybe, but we'd probably make sure it's the same
for
price.
now. Yeah, okay. Another question from the audience. Yes, right here.
Yeah.
With that, how are you navigating the space between their retailers and their brand and now your third space?
And are you talking about like a brick and mortar or?
Well, typically, so brand has a shoe for sale for 110. The retailer will also sell it for 110, and no other retailer can sell it for less than 110. So how are you navigating that?
So how are you navigating when it comes to like retailers or buying things from a different company?
Yeah, so all of these brands have MAP break agreements. MAP is minimum advertised pricing, right? So it's up to the brand to decide what product we sell. So most of I can click back, but Sierra Trading or Steep and Cheap, those are from a consumer's perspective, those are our biggest competitors. So the brand can't push us anything that's in violation of their own MAP break, right? So, and if they do, it's kind of like, hey guys, like you have to fix this. Like we don't fix it, you set the price. So in terms of that, like we will be competing in a marketplace against Sierra Trading and against REI. Oh, I guess REI Outlet and Steep and Cheap are a little different because most of their inventory is coming from REI and Backcountry, right? They're not actually, Sierra's out there buying inventory from these brands. Yeah, so that's, and like I said, it's past that full price moment. So most MAP break policy, it gets nuanced. But if a product is ending or a colorway is not continuing, it's outside of MAP, so you can do whatever you want with it. Now, if you're talking about black nano puffs from Patagonia, those will never be on sale, except for maybe like if you walked into like Outside In, they've probably got a sneaky little sale rack they're just not telling the reps about, and everybody kind of turns the other way. So it's totally fine. But in terms of like Sierra Trading or REI Outlet, those things will never exist outside of MAP break, and neither will we. So the inventory we have will be eligible for MAP break.
Love the sale racket outside in. Love that sale rack. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Yes, in the back.
I think they hold inventory, but this kind of makes me think of overstock.
Mhm.
Did a pretty good job developing a brand. Is it in the realm? Is there a way to relate to?
Yeah, so this is kind of reminiscent of like an overstock, and can you
Yeah.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, for sure. Not very dissimilar from overstock or, I mean, frankly, like Amazon's fulfilled by seller. I think overstock is mostly focused on furniture still, home goods, those types of things. It's probably more similar to some. Well, so TJ Maxx Group owns Sierra Trading. So TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Sierra Trading, somebody else that I always forget, but home goods. Those guys are all very similar. I would say the most similar to like what we're doing without holding inventory is actually Amazon, Walmart, and Target, except that the margin that they demand makes it impossible for brands to sell sale merchandise there, right? Amazon, if anyone's ever sold anything on Amazon, they're going to take half. Right, and if you're talking about a product that's 30% below MSRP, giving up half is pretty tough. We're not taking half, so we just become a little bit better profit option for brands than going to Amazon or, whatever REI outlet.
Okay, I just have one last question. So how did you determine how much you'll be taking?
So I have built affiliate and influencer and creator models for a number of brands in the space. So we set our price, our sort of price share model more similar to what you would experience with an affiliate. So if you're not familiar with affiliate, right? Like if you read an article on CNN Wirecutter that says Cotopaxi's bag is the #1 travel bag, someone, me, paid a lot of money to have that there, and then they get paid a commission every time one sells. So that's our model is a commission model, and it takes a little bit more from what you'd experience in affiliate or like a cost per commission or cost per acquisition model.
Okay, very cool. Well, I love your timeline. I'm so excited to see how this goes. I hope you'll come back and check in with us, and please talk to Eric if you're interested in learning more. Thank you. Thanks for being here. This is so cool. Congratulations.
Thanks, everybody.
How about another round of applause for Eric and CloseOutdoor? Also, a very clever name, Eric. I really like the name a lot. All right, tonight's next company pitch is brought to you by these amazing partners. Umpqua Bank is a proud sponsor of the EDCO PubTalk series. At Umpqua Bank, our local bankers proudly serve our community by providing the expertise to help build and maintain meaningful relationships. Umpqua Bank, together for better. And for Central Oregon's small and medium-sized businesses striving to scale and succeed in today's competitive landscape, Barrett Business Services, BBSI, stands out as a trusted ally dedicated to fostering growth and operational excellence for their clients. By partnering with BBSI, small businesses can confidently navigate the complexities of business management while focusing on what they do best, driving innovation and serving their customers. Our personalized service and local team empower business owners to make informed decisions, optimize their resources, and achieve their strategic goals. Meet with Chris Piper, BBSI's area manager, who is here tonight. Chris, are you in the room or are you out of the room? Okay, Chris is here somewhere, so connect with Chris and to learn more. So next up, we are excited to welcome to the stage a company update from Bend-based Shasta Power, LLC. In 2021, John Copyak co-founded Shasta Power, a utility-scale solar power developer here based in Bend, Oregon. Shasta Power's mission is to advance renewable energy by developing large-scale solar installations and supporting sustainable energy growth. Welcome, John.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, I'm one of the managing partners of Shasta Power, a utility-scale solar developer. What we do is we determine where solar farms should be built, and then we get the real estate, the interconnections, the energy contracts, the governance, all of these pieces together, and then we sell the sites to bigger companies that build them. And so an example would be, well, let's take an example. Just outside of town here, about 2 or 3 miles, you'll run into a 20 megawatt site.
The average site that we're developing is 100 megawatts, and we have 4 going right now. So that, of course, equals 400 megawatts. And so we're in the midst of developing sites that would power Bend 2 times over. We're also considering or pushing to add agrivoltaics in the form of sheep to our farms, and also carbon sequestering underneath the ground of the farms. And of course, we also plan them with 1-to-1 batteries. So if we have a 100 megawatt electrical PV system, we'll also have a large battery. And also interconnections. And I want to talk about those specifically because that is an investing moment right now. But back to the economics a little bit. We typically spend about $1 million in at-risk money, and that goes to land options, environmental studies, engineering, legal, all those kinds of things. And then we spend about $3 million making an interconnection deposit with a utility. And then once we get all this groundwork done and place the deposit, to get an interconnection, the energy contract, these things, we would sell that site that we would spend about $4 million on for about $10 million. And the way that goes is we usually get the money that we've put out at close, and then it takes a couple more years to get the remainder. But let me grab this thing again. Here's our org chart. So Shasta Power is the developer, and we have accredited investors so far in the Summit Power Fund. And the accredited investors have thus far invested $13.9 million, and many of them are from Bend. We have about 100 investors in total, and about a third of them are in Bend. And we're currently seeking a little bit more money from accredited investors for interconnection funding. When we started this venture a few years ago, it would cost about $2 million for each interconnection deposit. Well, there's something called an overly aggressive interconnection deposit reservation that's been happening. Basically, it's a speculative reservation where somebody puts one in and hopes they can get a project together later. Unfortunately, that's raised the prices of our interconnection deposits. And so we're looking to raise a little bit more money to place our last 2 project interconnection deposits. And so we're willing to pay investors a 20% return on those interconnection deposits today. Anyhow, so we have the Shasta Power developer, accredited investors, and our new accredited investor interconnection funders, all putting expertise and money into the Shasta Summit Power Fund. So this has 4 projects in it right now. The first 2 are fully funded, and we have buyers for those projects. And the second 2 need the interconnection funding so we can see them through another year and then sell them. This is a little bit into the weeds, but here are the economics of our projects. Our first project is in Oregon. It took a couple of years to develop, and we have a buyer for it, and it started cash flowing last quarter. And it's currently paying the fund investors 18% year over year. Of course, we haven't received all that money yet, but we do have a buyer, and they've started making payments, and it will continue on till 2028. We have a similar situation with the Summit Solar project. We've recently finished most of the development. We found a buyer, and we expect to be paid well this quarter. And that project is going to be paying our investors 144% year over year. The next 2 projects, they're a little bit premature to sell. We still need to place that interconnection deposit, but we are penciling 38% and 51% for those 2 projects that are coming up. All told, between 2022 and 2028, our investors are earning 27% year over year in our Summit Power Fund. Unfortunately, the fund has been closed. We closed it last year, but the interconnection deposit preferred return is now open, and we're currently paying investors 20% annually on that. And it's simple interest, so if you had $100,000 you want to invest, if it took 2 years to get the money back, we'd pay you back $140,000. This is the payment waterfall. It's a little bit unique, but we have the Blue Mountain project we've already found a buyer for, and that's been cash flowing. So that's already paying the Summit Power Fund investors. Same thing with the Summit Solar project. We expect to receive payments and disperse those this quarter. The Zenith Solar Farm and the High Point, we need the interconnection deposit money to see it through, and it will take about another year until we list that for sale. In any case, we're willing to pay investors 20% on that $3.2 million. And since we opened this a couple weeks ago, we've already funded that $600,000. So we just have about 2.5 to go. And then the excess money from those project sales will then go to the Summit Power Fund investors, and then finally the equity sharing. Just a little bit more into the weeds on the preferred return interconnection deposit. Typically our minimum is $50K. I would be willing to lower that a bit. I've been making exceptions here and there. We're penciling a 24 to 36 months hold. That's conservative. It may be as short as 18 months, but I don't know yet. The plan capitalization is $3.2 million, and we're of course paying 20% per year, calculated daily. And there's no management fee associated with this portion of the investment. On the waterfall, it would be paid the first thing once we sell either one of those big sites. So that's how the breakdown works. A little bit more about economics. I know it's a little bit steeped in numbers, but why are these interconnection deposits so valuable? We have about 1 million already posted at the High Point project, and we need about another 900K plus 900K, 2 more 900K deposits. At this moment, the project's worth about 3 million, but if we place those 2 deposits, get the interconnection, energy contract, finish the environmental and so on, it'll be worth about 14 million. And so we obviously want to see that through and hold on to the site as long as we can till we get to the build. And by the way, to build 400 megawatts, it's over $1 billion. So these are big projects. As you can see, it would power bend twice. And we did sell a tiny one in Illinois. I won't get into it, but the rate of return was sky high, but it's almost too small to talk about. And then Zenith Solar, we have about 400K posted right now. We're looking to post 2 more 320K deposits. Once those are posted, the project value will rise from 1.5 to 5 million. And that's also going to take about another year to see through. So I've used the words accredited investor, at least I hope I have a lot. And that's the way the Summit Power Fund was designed, and that's what's needed in order to invest in this interconnection deposit class if you're interested. However, don't fret if you're not accredited. In April, we're going to be starting another fund, and this is going to be a Reg A+, and that will allow non-accredited investors who make 100K could be involved. And so it'll be the same thing. We'll have more PV projects, hopefully sheep on them, batteries, carbon sequestering, interconnection deposits. Oops. And this looks cookie cutter, but it's anything but. Every project's different. Every utility is different, landowner is different, and so on. But we're very inspired to be developing 400 megawatts cash flowing already. And we plan to have a larger fund, the Shasta Power 2 Fund, that will also be open to non-accredited investors come April. So right now we have the IDC investment paying 20%, long-term capital gains treatment to investors if they're interested. And then, of course, in a couple months, we'll have the non-accredited allowable Shasta Power 2. But I have a couple more things. Let's just say that you're not interested in a fund, but you'd like to buy some real estate that's already built and cash flowing with a solar farm on it. I have some 10-acre parcels that you could buy and then just sit on and earn money every quarter. So those are available. The leases on those will probably be 20 to 35 years. I don't know, but it's at least 20 years. So if you're interested in that, you could also use your retirement plan or a 1031. So there's lots of choices there. One more offering is I also have a fund that only invests in real estate that's got solar farms on it. So if you want mail money, very consistent for a long time, good for retirement plans, we could talk about that too. So I have some shares of a fund that only invests in the real estate of solar farms. Do I have any questions?
Is so cool. How about a round of applause? I'm not going to pretend that it all got in, but some of it did get in. I'm very interested in what you're doing here. So let's talk about the sheep. I've heard sheep are much easier than goats. Have you actually started with the sheep, or this is just part of the long-term plan?
We've interviewed a lot of sheep herders and people doing this, and I've learned a lot. I've met the sheep. They've not been my sheep yet. So that's coming. Same with
so
the carbon sequestering. It's coming.
It's so cool.
But we haven't actually implemented it yet. But it seems brilliant. The sheep like the shade. It works.
It is brilliant, and it will work. It's very exciting, and I love that you used the beautiful picture of crystals forming to sequester that carbon. I mean, way to get a whole other demographic interested in this. The crystal people are very loyal. Okay, questions? Yes, in the back.
Can you tell us a little bit about the appetite for purchasing these projects and maybe who some of the buyers are?
Yeah, that's a great question, Roger. So can you tell us a little bit about the appetite for people purchasing some of these, and like what kind of buyers are they?
Oh boy, there's a lot of buyers, huge buyers. I can't tell you specifically who our buyers are, but I can give you some names, like as far as like BP, some other bigger companies in the same business, like Scout Energy, First Solar. Many of them are household names, but there's at least 40 huge companies. Even Warren Buffett buys solar farms. So there's a lot of companies that buy them. And as you probably know, the demand for energy is rising. All the AI and data centers are sucking up a lot of juice, so there's plenty of demand right now.
Yeah, that's a whole other event. Yes.
What's the cap rate on the land?
What's the cap rate on the land? What are you offering?
For you?
For you today?
Let's talk about it. It depends what you think the terminal value of it is, and so I haven't figured that out. It's anybody's guess what a 10-acre property could be worth in 20 years. It starts out less than 100K for 10 acres, so that's something. But yeah, let's talk about it. And I totally forgot to put my contact info on here. So if you want to talk, I have cards, or you could reach me at Shasta Power.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends I'm going to send your way. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Given this week, any indications of impacts, appetite?
Yeah, this is an interesting question.
I was
It's a big
expecting that question.
Let me just replay. Yeah, nobody was. Okay.
Oh, I was.
So, given this week.
This week, you mean the last couple of months?
Yeah, given this shifting that is happening, is that impacting the appetites? Is that affecting your sellers? Is that changing this landscape for you?
It is, and we don't exactly know what the outcome is. The new president is fairly unpredictable. However, the way we're submitting energy contracts right now, it's kind of a menu. It's like if the tax credit is 50%, then we'll sell you energy for X, and if it's 40%, Y, and it goes down like that. And so the utilities are just as smart as we are, that they know how much we're going to be offering them based on the tax credit. It's math, and so the whole industry shifts, but it doesn't go away. It's just that the utilities have to pay more. So, and don't blame me for the Pacific Power raise. That's because of fires.
Shoot.
I know, that was your next question.
It really was, yeah. My gas fireplace. Okay, any other questions? Okay, this is so cool. I know that people want to connect with you, so please make your business cards available. And thank you so much. This is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Keep us posted. How about another round of applause for John? I feel like we're all just a little bit smarter now. Again, tonight is not possible without community partnerships. COCC, the Center for Business, Industry, and Professional Development at Central Oregon Community College, is dedicated to helping local professionals and business owners achieve growth and success. With a strong reputation for high-quality, affordable education, we are committed to making professional development accessible and affordable to Central Oregon. The Center for Business offers practical training across high-impact areas such as leadership and management, project planning, and business resilience. Through the Small Business Development Center, business owners receive expert guidance on essential strategies from financial planning to market expansion at a value that fits your budget. Hands-on workshops prepare you for key certifications such as human resource management, ensuring you're ready for industry demands. Additionally, our apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs across the manufacturing and construction trades prepare individuals for strong, sustainable careers right here in Central Oregon. Whether your goal is to build stronger teams, streamline operations, or develop critical career skills, the Center for Business at COCC is here to support your journey. Explore more at cocc.edu/Center for Business. So thanks so much for coming to the first EDCO event of 2025. We look forward to seeing you soon, and we have some really great upcoming events. So don't miss the EDCO annual luncheon at the River House on Thursday, February 13th. Tickets are now available. They are selling fast. It always sells out. Do not delay. You can visit edcoinfo.com/events to learn more. And we'll be right back here at Worthy on February 27th and then March 20th for the next 2 Central Oregon Pub Talks. And you don't want to miss our Prineville annual luncheon on March 6th. More information on these events can be found on the EDCO website. Special thanks again to Worthy Brewing for hosting us and Hand in Hand Productions for the incredible tech support and production quality. I'm Shannon Kelly. It's been a pleasure. Happy New Year. See you next month.